Google CEOs 2016 pledged to combat misinformation with AI under scrutiny following Gemini controversy. Um, it's been all over the news, and Google's then lost billions upon billions of dollars because of their woke AI, Gemini. People seeing that. I mean, you can't. Depict. It doesn't even depict white people. I mean, this thing is crazy, and is inaccurate when it comes to history. Like everyone's seen the Black Vikings and the Asian Vikings and things like that. It would not depict a white person. It's just the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it's by design. This is what they wanted it to do. They wanted to be, it's not, it wasn't broken. It's just, it was so much of a backlash, and capitalism is exposing that people really don't want this woke crap, because that's how they end up losing billions of dollars. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. I'm gonna play this clip from Fox News, and then we're gonna talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Again, this comes from Fox News. Bradford Betts, he reports this. But first, I'm going to play this clip here, and then I'll come in and we'll talk about it.
Michael Schellenberger is the author of Public on Substack, and he joins us now, and it's great to have you on the program, Michael. So tell us what you've learned, because when we see these images coming out, they're very clearly biased, and you've got Sundar Pichai now apologizing for that, saying, oh, no, don't worry, we're going to go back and we're going to fix it. But at the end of the day, that's exactly how they intended it to be.
Yeah, that's right. It's great to be with you, Jackie and Sean. So our reporting revealed that really we shouldn't be surprised that Google has been pushing this, what's frankly a racist woke agenda since at least 2017, really 2016, I should say. A few days after the 2016 elections, I mean, there were Google executives crying over the election of Trump. And the current CEO, who was the CEO at the time, Sundar Pichai, said that they were going to use AI in order to deal with this problem of misinformation. So he said so in 2016. In 2017, he famously fired a Google engineer who wrote a memo debunking a lot of the misinformation around DEI policies, meaning these effectively discriminatory policies that the company had in place and that people have exposed elsewhere. And you see them, so this whole idea that somehow the AI on its own, there was something with the machines, there was a problem. Now he's sort of suggesting maybe there was an employee problem. Look, this just comes right out of Google's hyper woke culture. 90% of donations from Google employees go to Democrats. Google actually got out the vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Former CEO Eric Schmidt helped Hillary Clinton. I mean, it's a completely Democratic Party controlled company, and that's a huge problem because not everybody's a Democrat, and you need these search platforms and AI platforms to be politically neutral, not so biased.
But we see in the Google searches, if you put it in anything political, every left-wing rag will pull up, and you got to get to page 6 before you get maybe a conservative publication. A lot of us don't know how AI is going to impact our lives. What's the danger of a politicized AI as we look into the future?
Well, to some extent, I have to say I'm actually really kind of happy this has occurred because Google has sort of gotten a pass in its bias and censorship compared to Facebook and Twitter, including folks like myself, have really not given the scrutiny to Google that it deserves. In part, I think search results seemed sort of natural, but when you get this AI chatbot, this Gemini chatbot where you ask it questions, the bias just comes right out. It's not sort of a ranking. There's no sense in which you have a choice of the different information to be choosing from. So in some ways, I'm sort of glad it happened because it reminded us of how biased the search results are. But yeah, it's just to your point, the real risk is that people are going to think that the Google results or the AI results reflect some accurate picture of reality, as though it's just sort of generally serving the landscape. Not at all. These are programs. They're programmed by human beings with clear political and partisan ideological biases. So I think we need the public to be aware of the ways in which Google's been biased. And look, I think we give a lot of federal contracts, huge government contracts to Google. It has to make a pledge to be nonpartisan, not political, for it to continue to get taxpayer money.
A guest on my show earlier, I asked how you can check this, Michael, and she said, well, look at the stock price today. Investors were selling on this news because they don't want to see that. They know it's going to be a stumbling block for Google as we move forward. Michael Schellenberger, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks for having me.
Google's woke ideology is finally hurting them in the pocket. It's finally capitalism is exposing how Google is so biased, and I've seen it myself with the stuff that I talk about. They pick and choose. If it's anything against their liberal biases, you get blackballed, you get blacklisted, you get deranked, you get censored, you get booted off the platforms, and everyone sees it. But but he's right. When you see it through the Gemini and see it through that woke lens, it really depicts as a literal picture of their woke ideology. It's a physical picture there. It's crazy. It's amazing that even the stock markets is waking up to it. But after the 2016 election, Google CEO Sundar Pichai pledged that investing in artificial intelligence would be a great opportunity for the tech giant to combat, quote, misinformation. We all know what that means. But after the 2016 election, Google CEO Sundar pledged that investing in artificial intelligence would be a great opportunity for the tech. Oh, why did they wrote that twice? But I'm sorry. These comments made during an all-hands employee meeting in the wake of Donald Trump's victory have received renewed scrutiny after the blunder of Google's AI tool, which users flagged for its bias against white people. As highlighted by Michael Schellenberger on his public Substack newsletter, Pichai told employees upset over Trump's victory, "I think our investments in machine learning and AI is a big opportunity here." So they're using AI to combat your views, to censor your views, like I said, to blacklist and your perspectives and highlight theirs. But he then seemed to suggest that Google was already manipulating search results per Schellenberger. These comments and the context in which they were made suggest that the company had been politically motivated years before the rollout of Gemini. Schellenberger has argued, quote, "We shouldn't be surprised that Google has been pushing this, what's frankly a racist woke agenda, since at least 2017, really 2016, I should say, a few days after the 2016 election," Schellenberger said. And I agree. That's when they started. And that's when the censorship began. That's when they started booting people off of their platforms. But he argued that the problems of Gemini come out on Google's hyper woke culture, noting that around 90% of employees' donations go to Democrats, and its former CEO helped Hillary Clinton. Quote, it's a completely Democratic Party-controlled company, and that's a huge problem because not everybody is a Democrat, and you need these search platforms to be politically neutral, not so biased, Schellenberger said. His comments come after Pichai told employees on Tuesday that Google was working to fix Gemini after users on social media flagged that the AI tool was creating inaccurate historical images that sometimes replace white people with images of Black, Native Americans, and Asian people. I mean, it was hilarious looking at this stuff that people was doing with it, and how woke it really is, and how racist this thing really was. Crazy. And it was trained to be that. And that's the thing. They pretend like they didn't program it to do that. But quote, our team have been working around the clock to address these issues. We're already seeing a substantial improvement on a wide range of prompts, and we review what happened and make sure we fix it at scale, Pichai said. Schellenberger told Fox Business he was somewhat, to some extent, pleased with the Gemini controversy because it laid bear Google's political bias. But yeah, y'all know what it is. Let me know what y'all think about this. Do y'all think it was a mistake that Gemini was doing this? Or do you think it was on purpose? Do you think it was by design that Google came out with this racist AI? Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Until next time, peace.